So today, book review. If any of you are familiar with this, it is the latest release in the Laurel K. Hamilton, obviously, Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series, and it's called Hit List. This is like, God, the 15th or 16th book in the series or something. This series was amazing when it first started. Just to give you an idea, those are all the titles in the series so far. And right about here with Narcissus in Chains is when the series starts going downhill. The series basically, it's kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but a little bit more adult-oriented. Sometimes you can tell when an author has exhausted a character and a coterie of characters, and they're just possibly writing it for the money and because the fans want the series to continue. And I'm not trying to insult the author. I love Laurel K. Hamilton. I love her books. I still enjoy reading them. But with this most recent one, it's now becoming a succession of repetition. It's kind of like, okay, so your show goes on hiatus for a month like they do throughout the year. You know, and they set it up like it's a big cliffhanger. And they're like, yeah, we're going to resolve this storyline, blah, 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 blah. And then the show comes back from its hiatus, and the first episode back doesn't even touch on the issue that you wanted to see, the issue that was hyped, you know. Instead, they have what we like to call filler episodes, where characters that aren't even that important, or even the main character gets involved in some other plot that really has no bearing on the series. Welcome to Hit List. This book was a complete digression. I mean, I was let down. I'm not going to spoil the book for anyone who hasn't read it, in case anyone that watches this video is a Laurel K. Hamilton fan. But what I am going to say is something that happened in this book has been being led up to over a series of, like, I don't even know, like the 5 or 6 past books. But it's been one of those things that, you know, the new book would come out and we'd all be like, yeah, all right, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen in this one? Please, please, please let it happen in this one. And it would be some side story about, you know, Anita going off with one of her guys. Because if you haven't read the series, she ends up with this, like, harem of guys. And it used to be that she fucked a new guy every book, and now it's getting to the point that it's happening with more than one guy every book. Because she basically discovers she's a succubus of some kind. And I'm really leaving a lot of the details and plot about the characters out of this because I don't want to get too much into it and reveal a lot. But you have the big bad thing that they're going up against over here, right? You have Anita right here. In a few books ago, when this first big baddie started rising up out of nowhere and actually, you know, you realize they're going after. So, stop, go this way. Okay, here's a book. Come back. Wait, new book, side story, boring. Side story, side story, side story, side story, side story, side story, side trip into some bullshit crap that I don't even remember having a bearing in the previous books. I may have been mistaken. And then the meeting of the two, and it's extremely just underwhelming. I mean, really, I was extremely disappointed. You know, I'm expecting this big confrontation, and in a series that has a plethora of amazing characters, and I'm talking these characters are very deep, because basically you've got Anita and you've got her inner circle of guys that have been around since like the first book pretty much. They continue to get developed, but then you've got the outer circle, which is the I fucked a guy in this book, I fucked a guy in that book, and now they have the outer circle. Roommates coming in smoking. But the outer circle is basically every guy that she's fucked in each book since, you know, the inner circle was introduced. But you have this whole plethora of characters that you're expecting are going to be there at this confrontation, and then the people that are there during the confrontation, it's okay. It's like you have your best friends that have been by your side your entire life. Stop it. He's being silly. So, you know, you're getting your ass kicked by someone. Someone's threatening you. And who are you going to call? You're going to call... Yeah, right. You're going to call your best friends, right? No. This is like you're going up against the biggest bad person in your life that could beat the living shit out of you. But instead of calling your friends, you call the tricks that you had from the one-night stand 5 years ago to be there at your side. The people that ended up being at the final confrontation in this, I was like, really? Only one of the characters that was there was worthwhile and had been around for multiple books. And he wasn't even part of her harem, per se, but he was an awesome character because he's always been in the peripheral and he was brought in and given a backstory and fleshed out. But the others that were there, it was just kind of like, really? Oh, see, he does this and I just get all... The other ones that were there were just kind of like, really, of all the people that you could have chosen to be at this confrontation, you had to use them. And again, not that, Laurel, if you ever watch this, please don't, I'm not insulting you, I'm just kind of disappointed. And as any artist can look at their work and be disappointed in it, so can a fan look at an artist's work and be disappointed in it. I'm not complaining about the series, and far be it for me to actually complain about the sex, because let me tell you, your sex scenes are awesome, especially when it's Anita with multiple men. So the whole fucking a new guy every book thing, I mean, granted, it does sometimes draw away from the story, but I'm not insulting the work 100%. I'm just saying that I really was disappointed with what you chose to do with this. So let me just get that out of the way, because I do love her work, and I do love the series. I just was expecting a value meal, and I ended up getting one French fry. It's kind of what it was like. But yeah, it's just kind of a letdown, you know? It's
Soggy
like...
French fry, too.
Soggy French fry, yeah. You know, like watching the season finale of that show, and they're going up against the big bad guy with all their superpowers, and then the big bad guy falls off a cliff. Actually, Fable 2. If you've ever played Fable 2, can I not say it was the biggest game erection diffuser? Like, seriously, getting a big stiffy playing the game because it's awesome, and I'm gonna go kick this guy's ass. And he fucking falls off a cliff from a music box. Really?
I haven't finished it yet.
Oops. By the way, there's
Never mind.
There's no boss fight at the end of Fable 2.
Thanks,
I mean, seriously, what was that, Molly knew? What was that? Ooh. Shit, I'm not supposed to talk about games like that. Oh well, I won't get in trouble for that. No, I won't, because I loved the game. I did. I'm just saying it was, you know, I just didn't agree with the way that it ended because I kind of wanted a big boss fight, but, you know. Shut up. You're making me get distracted. But yeah, going back to this, it's, if you're a fan of the series, read it, but I don't know. I just kind of, I wanted more of a fight, or at least wanted the main characters of the series to be there when this happened. This book just really, most of it didn't really seem to fit what it had been building up to, and it was kind of just like, what the hell's going on? And I hate that, because it's an amazing series. So I hope the next one, now that this story arc seems to be over, the potential of what happened in this one at the very end leads to a very, very awesome possible new arc. I don't know. But yeah, that is my veg for today, because I didn't have anything else to talk about. So I'm going to I'm going to let myself get pet now. Oh! You guys got to hear this. Okay. So apparently one of the people in his shopping center was talking to him today and was like, man, you know, I got to give your boyfriend a lot of credit. You know, he's made you so much happy over the past, you know, few weeks and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and today, you know, you're smiling and you just seem so full of spirit. Spirit? Is that what we're calling it these days? Because guess what we did last night? He was filled with something, but it wasn't necessarily spirit. So I told him now if anyone ever asked him if he's a spiritual person, he can just say, oh yes, I'm full of spirit. TTFN puppets.